All right, welcome back. We're going to wrap it up today, talk a little bit about fire departments here in Nelson County, Bardstown and Nelson County. And these are two of the guys that are doing a fantastic job, what I consider our heroes in the community. But sometimes maybe you might not want to meet these guys, but because if you're having a fire, you definitely want to meet them, but we hope you don't have a fire. I'll let you two guys introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Kevin Grayson. I've been with the fire department for 6 years. My job is pre-plans, and I do also the public education. I go to the schools and I teach kids, stop, drop, and roll, get out and stay out, and that stuff. So my job is public education and pre-plans.
My name is Chris Kurtz. I've been with Bardstown Fire Department since 2012. I actually work full-time in Louisville. I've been in the fire at Bardstown. I work as a part-time employee. In doing so, I'll help Kevin when he needs help with pre-plans, or I've been cross-trained to do that, or if he needs help with anything else. Then the other part-time or the other full-timers that work there as well, I'll assist them in any way I can. The task that I usually have in the winter is the maintenance program, and then summer times we test hydrants. We've painted hydrants. The fire stations that are outside of the city limits, we mow the grass, clean the firehouses, clean the fire trucks, so on and so forth. Just making sure everything looks nice for the community and looks nice for us as well.
And ready to go when it gets called upon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one of the things you just mentioned a few minutes ago about the education, stop, drop, and roll obviously is not just common sense. I mean, that's something they need to know. If you're on fire, you're going to do that.
Right.
But I think the second part there you mentioned is don't go back in. And that's one of the things I've not been involved with fires a lot, but I've talked to people, and that's one of the biggest issues I've talked to firefighters about is people are desperate to get back in and save their gun collection or something or another. Then once you get them out of the house, you don't want them back in there.
That's usually what I do. I try to see every first grader in our fire district. I try to go to all the schools and see every single first grader in our fire district. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I do. I put my gear on and let them see me in the full safety ensemble. Our personal protective equipment is what we call it, and tell them, we'll go back in and get your stuff. You guys get out and stay out, and we teach them to have a meeting place, the neighbor's mailbox or a big tree in your front yard. But the main thing is we teach them, get out and stay out, and that we'll go back in for those belongings and their puppies and but mainly we want them to get out and stay out. Yes, sir.
Well, obviously, the fire is very traumatic, and you all have dealt with many traumatic situations, but it's hard to educate people to some degree as to be prepared. Mm-hmm. I mean, the smoke detectors, the fire extinguishers, things of that nature. What does a person need to do do they need fire drills? Do they need to have fire drills at their house?
Yes, we have what we call the Edith program. It's exit drills in the home, and that's something we want especially children to go over. We tell them to take it home and go over it with their parents. Everyone should have 2 means of egress, 2 ways out of their house. And then, of course, the meeting place. We always, we want them to practice that, rehearse it, make it become sort of muscle memory. So in the event that they do need to utilize it, it'll be there.
Well, what kind of people are you looking for in the fire department? I know you're always constantly looking for volunteers. I mean, is there any particular target audience for it? Obviously, you don't want somebody 59 years old who's out of shape, like myself. But, what are you looking for?
Well, the target audience we're looking for, I mean, it covers such a broad spectrum. I mean, even the 59-year-olds, I mean, they have a place. Some departments still...
I can carry a bucket.
Some departments still take volunteers on who are drivers only. You could come and you could become certified to drive a fire truck, and that would be the only thing you do. And then there's other departments that would still utilize you as a full functioning member. But like I said, it covers a broad spectrum, young, old. I mean, you need to be 18 years or older. I know a lot of fire departments, some still do schoolboy programs or explorer posts, but unfortunately due to a lot of the red tape with insurance companies and stuff, the workman's comp, they're not real crazy about us having anybody under 18 because of the coverage issue. But yeah, 18 to however old you want to keep doing it, you come in, we'll train you, issue you gear, get you on the truck, get you making runs. The initial training is 20 hours to become a certified firefighter in Kentucky. Then there's levels of certification, 150, 400. There's different accredited tests out there, IFSAC being one of those. There's physical agility tests that are out there nowadays to make sure people are staying in shape, staying fit, CPAT being one of those. And there's schools everywhere that you can go to: Jefferson County, Meade County, Green River. Here locally, there's schools that are out of state. I mean, there's the National Fire Academy in Maryland. You've got Indianapolis. They put on a large instructors conference every year. That's just a unreal wealth of knowledge that can be obtained at these places. Fire service is nothing new. It's been around for a long time, and in being around for a long time, they've developed so many ways to do things that are all good.
I'm sure safety training is probably right up there on the top of the list.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and well, again, we talk about different times of the year. I mean, firefighters have to face different things. Christmas time. I mean,
Yes, sir.
there's Christmas lights. There's things of that nature. Somebody burning their stove a little bit too close to the tree, and
Yes,
then you
sir.
get into the dry weather when you have bans on burning on the outside. So all year long, there's different things people have to know that they just don't think about.
Yes. We try to put out bulletins that fit the specific time of year to give out safety tips. Halloween, Christmas, dry season, summertime, swimming. We try to get that out to the public as much as possible. To fit the time of year, of course.
So you say you start at the first grade level teaching them, and so they're pretty attentive. Do they pay attention to that age?
Yes, I think that's kind of why we chose
Uh-huh.
first grade, is because they seem to be the ones who, it's not boring. It's still interested. They still like to see the fire truck. They like to get on the fire truck, and then it doesn't always happen. But I like to see the sixth graders too, because that's when you start using the microwave and maybe the stove top too. And so I try to see the sixth graders as well. But all kinds of places utilize our services as far as public education goes. Factories call us. I just did Flowers Foods, did some fire extinguisher training with their employees out there. So daycares use us. Anybody who calls will come.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't realize. The fire department does much more than just put out fires.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
mean, you
sir.
do inspection work and things of that nature. I mean, I had a fire myself a few years ago, and one of the first things I wanted the fire department there for. The fire was out when I got there, but I wanted to find out why that fire happened and what I can do to keep it from happening again.
Yes. And we have a smoke detector program for less than fortunate families. If you do not have, you call and we'll come put in smoke detectors. They're the battery operated ones, and we'll screw them into the ceiling or the wall, but we'll at least make it safe.
And okay, well, going back to what you were talking about earlier about maintaining the vehicles, I mean, that's something obviously you want a vehicle that's going to start and ready to go when it's called upon. Is that something that you all is a regular routine as far as keeping the fire trucks?
Yeah, Mike Hatfield, he's actually the individual that's over our vehicle maintenance program. Like I said, me being as a part-timer, I'm just there to kind of help him. We do as much as we can. There are certain things. I mean, I'm not a diesel mechanic. I'm not a vehicle mechanic, so I don't drove into things that I'm not qualified to handle. There are companies out there that take care of that for us. But as far as keeping chainsaws clean, chains sharp, changing the oil in generators, stuff like that, it's all stuff.
A lot of
we
maintenance
kinda
in
do
this
in-house.
personal protection equipment. I mean, is there a lot of maintenance to do in that? Huh?
Yes, and we have certain punch lists that we follow. A daily checks, weekly checks, and monthly checks. Each one more specific than the next. But yes, we have certain things that we go through, and then of course we take all the manufacturer's recommendations into play on what to do with our PPE. But yes, there's a certain punch list, and we follow, of course, what is the NFPA guidelines. And
Well, if somebody out there wanted you to come into their home or business to do an inspection of some sort, would that something they'd be able to call you at the fire department? And
yes, and it's actually, there's an ordinance for any place in the city limits of Bardstown that if it's a place of business, that our Assistant Chief Mattingly will come inspect it annually. And my job is to do pre-plans. Basically, I go to every business in the city as well, but it's not an annually thing. It's a one-time deal. It's what would we do if this place caught on fire? Where's the shut-offs? But yes, anybody who would like a life safety inspection can certainly call.
Okay. How do they get a hold of you?
They can just call our Station 1 there, 502-349-6562.
All right. Well, we do appreciate you guys being here, and we appreciate everything you do. I know you put your lives on the line a lot more than most people think, because there's just about a call just about every day. Seems like I see a fire truck going through town or something going on. So you stay pretty busy,
Yes,
even
sir.
when you're not there's some days that may be a little slower than others, but you find something to do, obviously. So we do appreciate you being here. And this education is extremely important. Again, if you get a chance to go through one of the training and find out what it is as far as what causes fires and what you can do, and God forbid if something you got caught in one, because I know, again, that's a very traumatic experience. I've been on the site of a few, and It's very you do a very professional job, but for some that are not used to seeing fires every day, it can be very emotional.
Yes, sir.
Well, we do appreciate you all being here for the Barstown Fire Department, and
Thank you for having us.
well, appreciate you
Greatly
being here,
appreciate it.
and appreciate you tuning in. So stick around. A lot more to come on your community focus shows. Kenny Fogle taking care of everybody.